Answer me with complete honesty. How many times today have you felt that tightness in your chest, that sensation that your life is stuck, especially regarding money, that no matter how hard you try, things simply don't flow? How many times have you woken up discouraged, looked in the mirror and thought, this isn't how I should be living? If you're feeling this right now, know that you're not alone. And more importantly, there's a precise neuroscientific explanation for what you're experiencing. What many call low vibration or heavy energy has measurable physiological correlates in your body at this exact moment. Your breathing is short and irregular. Your heart rate variability is compromised. Your sympathetic nervous system is in chronic hyperactivation, and your brain is trapped in rumination loops that drain your ability to see opportunities. But here's the transformative news that modern neuroscience has brought us. This state isn't permanent. It's not who you are. It's just where you are right now. And in less than 5 minutes, using a protocol validated by real physiological markers, you can begin to change this. It's the gateway to attracting financial prosperity. By the end of this video, you will have experienced a measurable change in your internal state and will have in your hands a tool you can use as many times as needed throughout the day. Because the truth is this: what you call vibration isn't mystical or inaccessible. It's trainable. It's a choice you make repeatedly through specific practices that reorganize your nervous system, redirect your attention, and reprogram your internal language. And when you consistently elevate this state, something extraordinary happens. You begin to notice opportunities that were always there, but that your anxious brain simply couldn't process. You attract people and situations aligned with this new frequency. You unlock the prosperity that was blocked by your own physiology of fear. If you're ready for this practical and immediate transformation, demonstrate your gratitude that this video has reached you now. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like. This isn't just a request for engagement. It's your first conscious act of choice, the first step to exit autopilot mode and take control of your internal state. Because the truth is this: the money you desire already exists. The opportunities you need are already around you. You just need to elevate your vibration to the frequency where they become visible. And that starts now. Now that you've made the decision to commit to your transformation, I need to reveal something that will explain why until now your attempts to change your financial life haven't worked the way you expected. And when you understand this paradox, everything will make sense. Let me tell you the story of Sophia. She worked 12 hours a day, took every entrepreneurship course that appeared, repeated positive affirmations every morning. But her bank account remained in the red. She didn't understand. She was doing everything right, thinking positive, visualizing abundance. So why wasn't the money coming? One day, during a coaching session, I asked her to close her eyes and think about receiving a large sum of money. You know what happened? Her entire body contracted. Her breathing became short. Her face showed tension. And when I asked what she was feeling, she said, "Fear of losing it, fear of not knowing how to manage it, fear that people will judge me, fear that it's not real." This is the vibration paradox that keeps millions of people trapped in financial scarcity. Consciously, you want money, but unconsciously, your body is vibrating at the frequency of fear, unworthiness, distrust. And you know which frequency the universe responds to? The unconscious one. The one engraved in your nervous system. The one you emit 24 hours a day, even when you're sleeping. Dr. Bruce Lipton, cellular biologist and pioneer of epigenetics, discovered something revolutionary in his research. 95% of our life is controlled by the subconscious. Only 5% is conscious. This means you can spend the entire day repeating, "I am abundant." But if the 95% of your subconscious is programmed with, "Money is hard," "I don't deserve it," "Rich people are bad," guess which program is running your life? And there's more. Your subconscious doesn't understand words. It understands frequency. It understands emotion. It understands the vibration your body is emitting. So when you say, "I am rich," but your body is contracted in fear, your subconscious receives the message from the body, not from the words. This explains why so many people make positive affirmations and don't see results. They're trying to reprogram the subconscious using the wrong tool. It's like trying to tune an FM radio station using an AM receiver. It simply doesn't work. Think of someone you know who was born into a wealthy family. Observe how that person relates to money. There's no tension. There's no fear. There's no energy of, I need to grab it because it might run out. There's a naturalness, a lightness, a calm expectation that money will always be there. This is the vibration of genuine abundance. And it was programmed into that person's nervous system since childhood. Now think of someone who grew up in scarcity. Even if that person earns well today, observe how they relate to money. There's tension. There's excessive control. There's fear of spending. There's a survival energy that never completely shuts off. This is the programmed vibration of scarcity. And it continues attracting situations that confirm this frequency. But the extraordinary news is that you're not stuck with your childhood programming. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create new neural circuits, means you can reprogram your nervous system to vibrate at the frequency of abundance, regardless of how you were raised. And this brings us to one of the most fascinating discoveries of quantum physics applied to financial manifestation, the principle of resonance. Have you seen those videos where someone plays a musical note near a crystal glass and the glass begins to vibrate? That's resonance. The glass responds to the frequency being emitted. The universe works the same way. You're constantly emitting a frequency through your electromagnetic field, which is generated by your heart and your brain. And the universe, like that crystal glass, responds to the frequency you're emitting, not to the frequency you wish to emit, not to the frequency you pretend to emit, but to the real, authentic frequency that's being generated by your internal state. The HeartMath Institute, a research center in California, spent more than 25 years studying the electromagnetic field of the human heart. And you know what they discovered? That the heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times more powerful than the brain's. And this field extends up to 3 meters around your body. This means you're literally transmitting your emotional vibration to the environment and to the people around you all the time. When you enter a room vibrating financial anxiety, people feel it. They don't consciously know what they're feeling, but their nervous system picks up your frequency. And unconsciously, they respond to you differently than they would respond to someone vibrating confidence and abundance. This explains why some people get deals easily, attract investors, receive unexpected proposals. It's not luck, it's resonance. They're vibrating at the frequency that attracts these opportunities, and you can learn to do the same. But there's an obstacle you need to understand before you can change your vibration sustainably. And this obstacle is what I call frozen financial identity. Your financial identity is the unconscious answer to the question, who am I in relation to money? And for most people, this identity was formed between 0 and 7 years of age, observing how parents related to money, hearing repeated phrases about money, experiencing the emotional energy around the financial theme. If you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't buy that, the rich don't enter heaven, these phrases didn't just stay in your conscious memory. They were engraved in your nervous system as absolute truths. And now, decades later, your body still responds to money with the same contraction, the same fear, the same sensation of impossibility. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Roberto always wanted to have his own business. He had good ideas, was intelligent, hardworking, but every time he was close to taking the decisive step, making the necessary investment, something inside him froze. He found 1,000 rational reasons not to do it. It's not the right time. I need to study more. What if it goes wrong? When we investigated the origin of this block, we discovered that Roberto's father had gone bankrupt when he was 8 years old. And Roberto remembered perfectly the energy of shame, desperation, and defeat that took over the house. That experience engraved in his nervous system an unconscious equation. Taking financial risks equals losing everything equals shame and suffering. Can you see the paradox? Roberto wanted prosperity, but was vibrating fear. And the universe, obeying the law of resonance, delivered more situations that generated fear. He was trapped in a vibrational loop that confirmed his unconscious programming. And you? What is your frozen financial identity? What is the frequency your body automatically emits when the subject is money? Because until you identify and reprogram this base frequency, all external strategies will have limited results. And what we're going to reveal now goes against everything you've been taught about hard work and effort. It will challenge your deepest beliefs about how money works. And if you're not open-minded, you'll resist. And this resistance will keep you exactly where you are. So take a deep breath now. Release any tension in your body. And prepare to discover the secret neurological mechanism that wealthy people use, consciously or not, to attract financial opportunities in an apparently magical way. Because what seems like magic is just applied neuroscience you don't know yet. There's a system in your brain called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. And it's responsible for something extraordinary, deciding, among the 11 million bits of information you receive every second, which 40 bits will reach your consciousness. That's right. Of 11 million stimuli, only 40 reach you consciously. Now comes the part that will change everything. You know what determines which information passes through this filter? Your dominant vibration, your deepest beliefs, your habitual emotional frequency. Let me give you a practical example. Have you ever bought a car and suddenly started seeing that model everywhere? You didn't create the cars, they were always there. But your RAS was reprogrammed to notice that specific model. It passed through the filter. The same happens with financial opportunities. They're around you at this exact moment. But if your RAS is programmed by the vibration of scarcity, it simply doesn't process them. They don't pass through the filter. You literally don't see them. Dr. Andrew Huberman, neuroscientist at Stanford, demonstrated in his research that we can reprogram our RAS through specific practices that alter our physiological state. When you change your vibration through breathing, attentional focus, and internal language, you're literally reconfiguring your brain's filters. Think of Carlos, an engineer. He was unemployed for 8 months, sending resumes without response. He was vibrating desperation. When he started practicing the Vibrational Elevation Protocol I'm going to teach you, something fascinating happened. In the 3rd week, he was in a cafe and heard a conversation at the next table about a vacancy. He introduced himself right there. He was hired. The vacancy was always there. But only when he elevated his vibration did his RAS allow him to process that opportunity. Before that, he probably would have been in the same cafe and not even noticed the conversation. His brain would have filtered it as irrelevant noise. But there's more. Research on mirror neurons shows that when you vibrate at an elevated frequency, you activate the mirror neurons of people around you. They unconsciously begin to resonate with your frequency. They feel attracted to you. They want to help you. They think of you when opportunities appear. And there's a third crucial neurological mechanism: confirmation bias. Your brain is constantly seeking evidence that confirms your dominant beliefs. If you deeply believe that money is hard, your brain will seek and highlight all the evidence that confirms this. You'll notice every difficulty, every rejection, every obstacle. And you'll ignore or minimize every opportunity, every small victory, every sign of progress. But when you reprogram your vibration to abundance, confirmation bias works in your favor. Your brain begins to seek evidence of prosperity. You notice opportunities. You see possibilities. You recognize resources that were always there but were invisible before. Think about this. Every time you practice elevating your vibration, you're strengthening the neural circuits of abundance and weakening the circuits of scarcity. With consistent repetition, abundance becomes your automatic pattern. You no longer need to make an effort to vibrate high. It becomes natural. But there's a challenge most people face in this process. And if you don't know how to deal with it, you'll give up before seeing results. This challenge has to do with what happens when you try to elevate your vibration, but are surrounded by people and environments that vibrate scarcity. Because the truth is that vibration is contagious. And if you don't know how to shield yourself energetically, the environment will pull you back to the old frequency. But before I show you how to create this shielding, you need to understand something even more fundamental. Where exactly you are right now on the scale of financial consciousness. Because you can't elevate what you can't measure. Dr. David Hawkins spent decades researching states of consciousness and created a scale from 1 to 1,000 that precisely maps where you're vibrating at this moment. And what he discovered will explain why your financial life is exactly as it is. Below 200, you're in the states of shame, guilt, apathy, sadness, fear, desire, anger, and pride. At these levels, you're an energy drain. You consume more than you generate. You repel opportunities. And financially, you're in constant survival mode, attracting situations that confirm scarcity. Above 200, you enter courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, and peace. At these levels, you become an energy generator. You create value. You attract people and opportunities. And financially, you begin to experience flow, synchronicities, and natural expansion. The number 200 is the turning point. It's the threshold between victim and creator, between scarcity and abundance, between repelling and attracting money. Now take a deep breath and be brutally honest with yourself. When you think about your current financial situation, where are you on this scale? If the first emotion that arises is shame for not having achieved more, you're at 20. If it's guilt for past decisions, you're at 30. If it's apathy, that sensation of nothing will change anyway, you're at 50. If it's fear of losing the little you have, you're at 100. If it's anger at those who have more than you, you're at 150. Each of these states has a specific vibrational signature, and this signature is transmitting a constant signal to the universe, to the people around you, to the opportunities that cross your path. The fascinating thing is that you don't need to jump from 100 to 500 all at once. You just need to cross the threshold of 200. Because above 200, you enter a completely different energetic field. You exit the black hole of scarcity and enter the magnetic field of abundance. And there's something crucial you need to understand. Each level of the scale has specific thoughts, emotions, and behaviors associated with it. When you're in fear, 100, your thoughts are, what if I lose everything? What if it doesn't work? I can't risk it. Your emotions are anxiety, panic, paralysis. Your behaviors are avoidance, procrastination, decisions based on not losing instead of winning. When you rise to courage, 200, your thoughts change to, I can try. I'll take one step at a time. It's possible. Your emotions are determination, cautious hope, willingness. Your behaviors are action despite fear, small calculated risks, learning from mistakes. When you reach acceptance, 350, your thoughts are, I trust the process, I'm open to whatever comes, there's enough abundance. Your emotions are peace, confidence, flow. Your behaviors are inspired action, generosity, collaboration instead of competition. Can you see how each level creates a completely different financial reality? These aren't just positive thoughts. It's a complete reorganization of your nervous system, your perception, and your actions. But there's a dangerous trap that keeps many people stuck below 200, even when they're trying to rise. And this trap is called secondary gain from scarcity. Part of you may be benefiting from remaining in scarcity. Maybe you receive attention and compassion when you complain about money. Maybe you avoid responsibilities that would come with more prosperity. Maybe you use the lack of money as an excuse not to pursue your real dreams. As long as there's an unconscious secondary gain, you'll sabotage any attempt to elevate your vibration. The good news is that there's a specific protocol, validated by neuroscience, that can take you consistently above 200 and keep you there. A protocol that works on the 3 levels of vibrational transformation: physiological, attentional, and linguistic. And when you practice this protocol daily, something extraordinary happens. Your elevated vibration becomes your new equilibrium point. You no longer need to make an effort. It becomes automatic. Let's go to the protocol. Before we begin, I need you to understand something fundamental. This isn't an exercise to do once and forget. This is neurological training. The more you practice, the stronger the neural circuit of abundance becomes in your brain. The Vibrational Elevation Triad works on 3 simultaneous dimensions: the physiological, through breathing; the attentional, through gratitude; and the linguistic, through conscious choice of affirmations. When you align these 3 systems, you create coherence. And coherence is the key to accelerated financial manifestation. First pillar, physiological, anchoring through breathing. Sit comfortably now, spine erect, shoulders relaxed, feet on the ground. Place one hand on your heart and another on your belly. We're going to reprogram your nervous system in 90 seconds. Breathe in deeply through your nose, counting to 4. Feel the air filling your belly first, then your chest. Hold for 2 seconds. Now exhale slowly through your mouth, counting to 6, completely emptying your lungs. Do this 3 times now, with me. What did you just do? You activated your vagus nerve, the main conductor of the parasympathetic system. You signaled to your brain that you're safe. You turned off survival mode and turned on growth mode. Your heart rate variability increased. Your prefrontal cortex came back online. You're ready to receive abundance. But don't stop there. Now add a micro smile on your face. It doesn't need to be big. Just a slight elevation of the corners of your mouth. Research on facial feedback shows that this simple act sends signals to your brain that everything is okay, activating well-being neurotransmitters. Second pillar, attentional reconsolidation through gratitude. Now, maintaining this gentle breathing and this micro-smile, you're going to do something that will reprogram your reticular activating system to seek abundance. You're going to train your brain to notice what's already working. Think of 3 specific things you're grateful for at this moment. Not generic things, specific things. It could be the air entering your lungs. It could be the roof over your head. It could be the person who called you yesterday. It could be the $10 in your wallet. But don't just think, feel. For each gratitude item, stop for 10 seconds and feel the physical sensation in your body. Where do you feel gratitude? In your chest? In your throat? In your stomach? Amplify that sensation. Let it expand. What are you doing neurologically? You're training your attentional bias to focus on resources instead of lacks. You're telling your brain, look for more things like this, and your brain, obediently, will begin to filter reality through this new lens. Dr. Robert Emmons, the world's leading gratitude researcher, discovered that people who practice specific gratitude daily have 25% more probability of achieving financial goals. Why? Because gratitude changes your vibration from scarcity to abundance, and abundance attracts more abundance. Third pillar, conscious choice through identity, affirmations. Now comes the most powerful part. You're going to declare who you choose to be in relation to money, not what you want to have, who you choose to be, because identity precedes manifestation. Repeat these 3 affirmations out loud, with conviction, feeling each word resonate in your body. I choose attention on what expands my prosperity. I act from calm, clarity, and financial confidence. I create genuine value and receive abundance in return. Did you notice the structure? Each affirmation begins with I choose, or I act, or I create. They're action verbs in the present, not I'm going to be rich someday, not I want money, but I choose, I act, I create. This signals to your subconscious that you already are this person. And when you are, you attract. But there's a secret that multiplies the power of these affirmations. You need to say them when your body is in a state of coherence, which you just created through breathing and gratitude. Affirmations said in a state of anxiety don't work. Affirmations said in a state of coherence reprogram your subconscious. The complete practice, integrating the 3 pillars. Now let's put it all together. This is the complete protocol you're going to practice 3 times a day, upon waking, before lunch, and before sleeping. 5 minutes that will transform your financial reality. First, 3 cycles of 4-2-6 breathing. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. Micro smile on face, hands on heart and belly. Second, 3 specific gratitude items, feeling each one for 10 seconds in the body. Third, 3 identity affirmations out loud, with conviction and emotion. Done. 5 minutes. You just elevated your vibrational frequency above the threshold of 200. You just reprogrammed your reticular activating system to seek prosperity opportunities. You just signaled to the universe that you're ready to receive. But there's something crucial you need to understand. The first time you do this, you may not feel a dramatic change. Your nervous system is accustomed to the old frequency. It will resist. It will try to pull you back. This is normal. This is expected. The magic happens in repetition. When you do this every day for 7 days, you begin to notice changes, small synchronicities, an idea that comes out of nowhere, a person who calls you with an opportunity, an unexpected discount, a solution to a financial problem. These aren't coincidences. It's resonance. It's your new electromagnetic field attracting experiences compatible with your new frequency. But there's a real challenge you're going to face, and if you don't know how to deal with it, you'll give up in the first week. This challenge is called toxic environment. People and places that vibrate scarcity and try to pull you back to the old frequency. And in the next chapter, I'm going to teach you exactly how to shield yourself energetically to maintain your vibration high even when you're surrounded by financial negativity. You just learned the complete protocol. But now I need to teach you something that will determine whether you'll be able to sustain this elevated vibration or if you'll collapse at the first difficulty. And this has everything to do with what I call micro reboots throughout the day. Because the truth is this: you don't live in a controlled laboratory. You live in the real world. You're going to receive an unexpected bill. Someone is going to tell you no. You're going to open your bank account and see a number you don't like. And in those moments, your vibration will plummet. Your nervous system will enter threat mode. And if you don't know how to do a quick reboot, you'll spend hours or days vibrating scarcity. This is where the 90-second physiological anchoring technique comes in. This is the emergency tool you use whenever you notice your vibration has dropped. And it works because it works directly on the body, not the mind. When something financially stressful happens, you have approximately 90 seconds before the cortisol cascade completely floods your system. If you intervene in those first 90 seconds, you can interrupt the stress response before it settles in. If you let it pass, it can take hours for your body to return to equilibrium. So here's the emergency protocol. The moment you feel the contraction, the tightness in your chest, the anxiety rising, stop everything. Literally, stop what you're doing. Place both hands on your heart, close your eyes if possible, and take 3 deep breaths, 4, 2, 8. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 8. Why an exhalation of 8? Because long exhalations activate the vagus nerve more intensely. They force your nervous system to exit the sympathetic, fight or flight, and enter the parasympathetic, rest and recovery. It's pure physiology. It's not positive thinking. It's nervous system reprogramming. After the 3 breaths, ask your brain a specific question. What's good about this situation that I'm not seeing yet? This question forces your prefrontal cortex to seek possibilities instead of confirming catastrophes. It redirects your reticular activating system. Let me give you a real example. Peter received a notification that his card was declined on a purchase. The first reaction was panic, shame, that sensation of, I'm a failure. He felt the vibration plummeting. but he had practiced the protocol. So he stopped, placed his hands on his heart, took the 3-4-2-8 breaths, and asked, "What's good about this?" The answer came, "This saved me from an impulsive purchase I didn't need. This is a sign to review my budget. This is an opportunity to create a better financial system." In 90 seconds, he transformed a scarcity trigger into a growth springboard. He maintained his vibration above 200. But there's another critical moment where you need physiological anchoring. Before important financial situations, before a negotiation, before asking for a raise, before making a proposal, before investing money. In those moments, you can't enter vibrating anxiety. You need to enter vibrating confidence and abundance. So here's the pre-performance protocol. 5 minutes before the situation, find a private place. Do 5 cycles of 4-2-6 breathing. Then, visualize the situation happening perfectly, but not just visually. Feel in your body the sensation of success. Where do you feel confidence? In your chest? In your spine? Amplify that sensation. Then, declare out loud, "I enter this situation as a value creator. I vibrate abundance. I attract the right outcome for everyone involved." And then enter the situation, maintaining this frequency in your body. What are you doing neurologically? You're pre-activating the neural circuits of success. You're signaling to your nervous system that you're safe, that you have value, that you can create the desired outcome. And when you enter vibrating this frequency, people feel it. They respond differently. Opportunities open up. There's an even more powerful practice that will consolidate your new vibration: the Abundance Evidence Journal. Every day, before sleeping, you're going to write 3 pieces of evidence that abundance is manifesting in your life. It can be small. Someone bought you a coffee. You found a coin on the street. You had a lucrative idea. You received a compliment. Why is this so powerful? Because you're training your brain to seek evidence of abundance instead of scarcity. You're reprogramming your confirmation bias, and the more evidence you notice, the more your brain seeks. It's a positive loop that feeds itself. But now comes the real challenge that will test everything you've learned. Because you can do the protocol perfectly, maintain your vibration high, be vibrating abundance. But if you go home and your family is vibrating scarcity, complaining about money, transmitting fear and anxiety, you're going to be pulled back. And in the next chapter, I'm going to teach you exactly how to create an energetic shield that protects your vibration even when you're surrounded by low frequencies. You're practicing the protocol. Your vibration is rising. You're beginning to notice opportunities. And then you go home and find someone complaining that money is hard, that the economy is horrible, that the rich are thieves. And in minutes, you feel your energy being drained. Your vibration plummets. You return to the old frequency. This happens because vibration is contagious. The HeartMath Institute has proven that electromagnetic fields of nearby people interact and influence each other mutually. When you're near someone vibrating financial fear, your nervous system picks up this frequency, and if you don't have shielding, you resonate with it. But there's a specific technique that creates a field of energetic protection around you. And it works because it operates on both the physiological and attentional levels. First, the physiological shield. Before entering an environment you know vibrates scarcity, do this. 3 deep breaths, 4, 2, 6, and while exhaling, visualize a bubble of golden light forming around your body, approximately 1 meter away. This bubble is permeable only to elevated frequencies. Everything that is scarcity, fear, negativity hits the bubble and is reflected back. This may seem esoteric, but it has a solid neuroscientific basis. When you visualize with clear intention while breathing coherently, you're creating an internal state so strong that your electromagnetic field literally expands and stabilizes. You become less susceptible to external influences. Second, the attentional shield. When someone starts talking about scarcity in your presence, you have 2 options. If you can leave the situation, leave. Not out of arrogance, but out of energetic self-preservation. Your vibration is your most valuable asset. Protect it. If you can't leave, use the compassionate observer technique. Instead of absorbing the person's energy, observe them with compassion, but without resonating. Mentally, say to yourself, I see that this person is suffering. I send love, but I don't absorb their frequency. I maintain my vibration. And here's the secret. Don't try to convince the person. Don't argue. Don't try to prove they're wrong. Because when you enter a debate about scarcity, you're placing attention on scarcity. And where your attention goes, your energy goes. You descend to the frequency you're trying to combat. Let me tell you about Mary. She lived with her parents who constantly complained about money. Every dinner was a financial lamentation session. She tried to argue, show possibilities, but only felt drained. When she learned the shielding technique, everything changed. She started doing the golden bubble shield before entering home. During dinner, when the complaints began, she activated the compassionate observer. She listened with love, but didn't absorb. And after dinner, she went to her room and did the complete Vibrational Elevation Protocol, cleaning any energetic residue. In 3 weeks, something fascinating happened. Her parents started complaining less in her presence. Why? Because she was no longer feeding that frequency with her attention and emotional reaction. She was vibrating so high that unconsciously they began to resonate with her, not the other way around. But there are even more challenging situations. Toxic work environments. You can't simply leave, you need the job. But the environment vibrates competition, envy, scarcity. How do you maintain your frequency high? Here's the protocol. Micro reboots every 2 hours. Go to the bathroom, close yourself in a stall, and do 90 seconds of 4-2-6 breathing with the golden bubble visualization. This recharges your shielding. This maintains your vibration stable. This isn't superstition. It's a ritual that signals to your nervous system that you're making a transition. You're exiting work mode and entering regeneration mode. You're cleaning the emotional residues of the day. But there's an even more subtle and dangerous type of toxicity: self-sabotage. Because you can shield yourself from external people, but what about when the voice of scarcity is inside your own head? When you yourself are the toxic environment. Every time you think, I don't deserve it, this isn't for me, who am I to have abundance? You're transmitting a frequency of scarcity. You're sabotaging your own vibration. And external shielding doesn't work against the internal enemy. For this, you need the pattern interruption technique. The moment you notice a scarcity thought, stop. Clap once, hard. This sound interrupts the neural pattern. And immediately replace the thought with one of your identity affirmations. I choose attention on what expands my prosperity. It seems simple, but it's neuroscientifically powerful. You're literally interrupting the neural circuit of scarcity before it completes. And with repetition, this circuit weakens. It loses strength, and the abundance circuit strengthens. Now you have all the tools: the elevation protocol, the emergency anchoring, the energetic shielding, the daily cleansing, the pattern interruption. You have everything you need to maintain your vibration consistently above 200, no matter what happens around you. But there's one last thing that will determine whether you're really going to apply all this, or if you're just going to consume this information and do nothing. And this has to do with the choice you're going to make in the next 5 minutes. The choice that will define whether your financial life will change or continue exactly as it is. The choice is simple, but not easy. Are you going to apply what you learned, or are you just going to consume and forget? Because let me tell you something, nobody has the courage to say, information doesn't transform anyone. Application transforms. You can know everything about vibration, neuroscience, financial resonance. But if you don't practice the protocol every day, nothing changes. Knowledge without practice is just intellectual entertainment. You have everything, all the tools, all the knowledge. Now only one thing is missing: the decision to apply. If you chose to apply, in the comments below, type exactly this: I choose to vibrate high. And then share one piece of evidence of abundance you noticed today. It can be small. It may seem insignificant, but share it. And now comes the most important part. You're going to maintain this practice. You're going to do this every day. You're going to protect your vibration. You're going to notice the evidence of abundance that begins to appear. And you're going to come back here in 7 days to share your transformation. Because the truth is this: you didn't get here by chance. This video didn't appear to you by luck. It was resonance. Your soul, your higher consciousness, your prosperous future self attracted you to this information because you're ready. You're ready to cross the threshold. You're ready to vibrate abundance. You're ready to unlock the financial prosperity that was always yours by right. Until the next video, may your frequency always be one of abundance, your mind always clear, and your financial life always in expansion. Gratitude for being here. Gratitude for choosing transformation. Gratitude for vibrating with me.